Well guys, here we are building the best gaming PC without GPU possible. Now, a build like this is especially optimal if you're trying to ask your mother for a PC for school or a PC to study. And this is exactly what this client of mine has done. How you do that is centered around Ryzen APUs, Ryzen 8000 APUs. Now, Ryzen 9000 CPUs are about to come out. The 8000 is not a new gen, it's just APUs pretty much. And this is the entry-level 8500G, which is honestly better than I was expecting. Now, again, it's gonna be all budget except for things which will allow us to upgrade this PC in the future, because basically this guy is gonna get an AM5 DDR5 platform with a very good power supply, cooler and case, which will allow him to just slot in an RTX 4070 or 4080 tomorrow if he wants to. So we have, again, 8500G from AMD, 6 core, 12 threads, 5 GHz, just APU, which will need to be undervolted and overclocked as I show in my tutorials. That's the key part. Then we have a single stick, 16 gigabytes DDR5 stick. And now you're probably saying, but what about dual channel? Dual channel helps a lot. Yes, you do not want to build a PC without dual channel, but DDR5 is generally built in such a way that it is inbuilt dual channel even on a single slot. So you can actually do a single slot builds with DDR5, which not many people know about, and it will run at the full speed. Kind of crazy, but yes. So XPG Lancer, just staple, cheap RAM. Then we have a crucial P3 drive. Now this one is Gen 3, budget reason. This guy really didn't want to spend much, so cheap Gen 3 drive, should have picked the Gen 4. Then we have just B650M DS3H, just your cheapest but decent AM5 board. And this is the boring part. But then we have the actually interesting part, which is all brand new NRMax stuff. And they just released this marble shell case, which I got in white. So we have everything in white. And basically it has a very strange mesh on the front, which I like a lot, and RGB, which is what kids want, and also I want. So, and then again, 80 plus bronze PSU is not going to be the best out there, but it's going to be very good, and it will be able to handle even a 4080, actually, especially with a Ryzen 5. If you're just playing to run like a 4070 or 4080, you actually don't even need to upgrade your CPU. The cooler may seem overkill to a lot of you people because this one comes with a stock cooler, and the stock cooler is actually pretty good. But the reason we are doing this is because of the undervolting and overclocking. So since we don't have a graphics card in the system, we really need to push the integrated GPU of this thing as much as we can, and the extra temperature headroom is gonna be key. If you're doing an APU build, maybe spend money for 32 gigs because the graphics shares the RAM. So we're gonna basically have just 12 gigs of RAM really in the system with GPU enabled. But with that aside, I think these are gonna make the build look great and perform great. So I say we get building. Rate my paste application, guys. Okay, it's finally time to open up the case. Okay, we also have a Windows key here. Do you guys want it? Okay, so the case really does look nice. Again, 4 included RGB fans, this very unique mesh front. It has USB-C, USB 3.0 audio output, and this really cool handle to open the side panel. I like it already. Let's get building. Okay, so here we are finally slotting in the motherboard itself, and should be actually pretty easy. Okay, the PC build is nearly ready, we just need a power supply, but it's super hot in Italy, it's like 32 degrees Celsius, so please drop a like and maybe subscribe to the channel to support me. Let's go open this Marble Bronze 850 watts. That's kinda cool. Cable, modular cables, screws, and the actual unit. It does look really nice, and it's also RGB apparently. It has a RGB 3-pin connector, so we can daisy chain it to the rest of the motherboard. So this time pretty crazy, but we don't even need PCIe cables. We just need one SATA to power on the pump. So let's plug that one in, and the rest of the power supply is ready. Time to slot it in. And now the PC is pretty much ready. I would also say pretty effortless cable management because of the reduced amount of cables. And it's looking nice on the front as well. Let's close it up. And here we are with the PC finished. And by the way, I've also gotten this shirt to look a bit more professional, so maybe drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you've seen the video this far. But without further ado, let's talk about the PC. And I say we start off from the aesthetics, because I think it's one of the few PC builds that, even though it's missing a GPU, it still looks nice and complete. Of course, the fact that we have all Enermax components, the case, the all-in-one, and that the fans are from the same brand with the same RGB capabilities, even though they're not the same fans, because the all-in-one has higher static pressure fans than the case, I think really makes things easier to make it look nice. Now, yes, we have a single stick of RAM and we don't have a GPU, but that's not stopping this PC from performing the best. So I say we talk about the performance quickly. Now, before we get into the actual gaming performance, I want to talk about the cooling performance, because even though we tweaked the CPU and we basically allowed it to go as high as it wants, this Enermax all-in-one is really keeping the Ryzen 5 under wraps. I mean, it's not running hot at all, even under full load for both the GPU and the CPU. It's just cold. And I think this all-in-one, like, really, the white version is so much better than the black one, which was the original one. 100% recommended, in my opinion. Looks nice, performs nice, and it's also pretty quiet. Now, performance. So first off, I run a CPU-Z for you guys just to show you how good the IPC on these APU is. But again, nothing special, but if you put this into perspective, this thing is faster than an 11th gen i9, like faster than the i9 11900K. And that CPU, up until a few years ago, was like $400. You can buy this one for like $150. It's kind of crazy. So again, you can pair this CPU with any graphics card you want, like even a 4070, even a 4080 is actually gonna be fine most of the time. IPC is great, but we don't have a GPU today, so we run a Firestrike with included graphics, and this is the stock setting with no overclock. Overclocked is like 20% more roughly. Great result, and the thing is running. I remember back in the day with my original budget builds, which are on the channel all the way back, to like make a Firestrike run smooth, I had to really work on it and like delete the Xeons and like overclock those GTX 780s I had. So, but this one does it effortlessly. By the way, not that I don't like GTX 780, I just re-reviewed it in 2024, but I'm just saying crazy that a GPU under a CPU can perform better than a GTX 780, in my opinion. Crazy. I then went ahead and ran the games. Now, I featured this CPU already in my 3D printed gaming PC on the channel, and we run a very large suite there as well, and the results are of course the same, because same CPU, it doesn't really matter that we have less RAM here. And yes, over there we had the stock cooler, so this one goes a bit faster, 5% more performance, okay, but it's roughly the same. And what it means is, numbers aside, you can play Apex, Fortnite, Rocket League, all those games 1080p with decently high FPS, even 100 FPS easily you can do on Apex, for example. If you're playing Warzone, you can play it, but again, it's not gonna be the smoothest experience ever. But if you wanna play just multiplayer, Call of Duty, it's gonna run great. So this is basically it. And yeah, it's a 1080p CPU. I wouldn't really play 1440p unless you wanna play like Rocket League 1440p, in which case it's pretty good. So this is it for the gaming performance. Again, pretty straightforward. So this brings me to the actual conclusions. PC like this, I like it, and I definitely see the use case for it. For example, let's forget about the kid who didn't want to tell their parents that it was gaming PC, which is kind of funny. The main use case for a PC like this is if you don't have the money right now for a very good PC, but if you, like me, are against financing in general, then you can just build your PC step by step. So you can basically start with a good base, spend your money on a good power supply, good case, good all-in-one, which will allow you for future expandability, then save your money with a cheap NVMe, a single stick of RAM, and a cheap CPU with GPU integrated, and have a PC that's running, that's playing games already. Then in the future, you can just slap another 16 gigs of RAM in there, maybe expand the SSD if you need, and most importantly, just slot whatever GPU you want, because the case is spacious, the airflow is good, and the power supply will handle it. Not to mention, with this kind of all-in-one, you can also just put a 7800X 3D in there if you want, with a 4080, and it will all work, in this case, with this power supply, and run great. So it is a very good future-proof PC / start PC for somebody who doesn't have a big budget. But it can also work, again, in very small form factor builds. This is talking about the APU. I think it's really good. But do let me know down below if you agree with me, or if you had a tight budget, if you would have gotten like a used build of the ones which we do on the channel, which aren't really upgradable, but actually go a bit faster than this for the price. And also let me know if you like the Enermax stuff. I like it a lot, to be honest. It's fully recommended, both the case, the power supply, and the cooler. But I want to hear if you like it down below. And again, if you've seen the video this far and you haven't yet dropped a like and a sub to help me, like, come on, guys, I'm just a small YouTuber. Give me a hands out. I need it. You know, like, you know, I have the shirt now. See you in the next one, guys. Bye.